Today's mission is to ride from Minginui through the Whirinaki Forest, coming out through Pohukura Road onto State Highway 5, around about midway between Estdale and Taupo. I'll be relying on my F800GS, which has 120,000 Ks on the clock and hopefully still has at least as many left in it. And we're off. The road's nice and straight to start with, well formed, good surface, and altogether quite pleasant. There's a couple of good old boys coming towards us on quad bikes. I think they're going to the bank. The one in front has a rifle strapped to his back. Departing from the straight and narrow now, and getting into a few nice open, gentle bends, very pleasant. Could be going a lot faster, but I'm here to enjoy the scenery, and no point rushing it, doing all right for time, and if I go too quick then it's all over too soon, so I'm just going to chill out and enjoy the ride, as it were. Change of scenery coming up. At the moment we're going through reasonably well managed forest, at least to our right, and then we go into an area which is being cleared or felled in fairly recent history, maybe a year or so ago. The change is quite abrupt and quite extensive. The felled area probably extends for about 1 kilometre. See the character of the road changing quite a bit now. There's quite extensive ruts, usually running in the same direction as the road, and pretty easy to avoid in the main. There's a few sort of big potholes and puddles, as well as some patches of slippery clay. Now the clay's not terribly deep, at least the slippery part is only, maybe 20 mils, maybe 30 mils deep. Possibly a little more in places, but it is quite slippery, and I was thankful to have some fairly knobbly tyres, although the front one's a bit worn. And there's quite a lot of slippery clay over the whole road. In the 55 or so kilometres that's covered today, there's probably around about a total of 2 kilometres. That would be the slippery stuff, but it's only in fairly short patches, so it's not really much of a problem, just something to be aware of. more ruts along here in places quite deep. But what's outstanding along this part is the change of treescape. We're no longer riding through pine forest, neither are we riding through an area that's been cleared recently. It looks as though it's just been left, maybe with a view to regenerating to native bush or something in the longer term, although there are some non-native trees along here. I think there's a few gums, for example, and a few other trees that I can't identify. Yeah, I suspect that it's not just being neglected. I think that there must be a longer term plan in place, such as native reforestation. There's a bit of a puddle here, looks quite wide, maybe quite deep, can't really tell. The ground looks a bit dodgy on both sides, and so I guess the plan is just to ride through it and see what happens. There's a bit more slippery clay along here. That doesn't matter. What is interesting is the ute up ahead. It has a fairly fancy aluminium dog box in the back with dogs in it and carpet on the bonnet. What gives? We'll find out later what gives. Nothing all that interesting here. The only thing is an intersection which takes us onto Main Road, and I think Main Road was the road that we started on. There is something really interesting here, and that is the road to the right. It's actually the road that I should have taken, but didn't. This time we'll take the road to the right, which is now on the left, and we'll be back on track. Here's another interesting ute. This time we'll see that he has carpet on the bonnet, just like the other one, but sitting on the carpet he has a few dogs. Not only that, on the back of the ute he's got another aluminium dog box with a deceased pig on it. So as it happens, I saw this ute later in the day in Rotorua, and it had about 3 or 4 pigs under a cover on the back, and you could just see a few legs and snouts poking out. The road seems to be deteriorating a bit now, and we'll come to a stream crossing, just a very small one. Just stop, weigh it up, and take off, leap across it and head off up the road, and we'll find another fairly big puddle, which is nothing to be concerned about, straight through it. And then we get to the point where we run out of battery, which is a bit of a pity, because it's kind of a bit too wet now to stop and put the new battery in. And also probably some of the trickiest parts of the road before we get back out onto the highway are ahead of us. But anyhow, it's just the way it is. Hope you enjoyed it.